Today we're going to spend some time solving rational equations. Rational equations are just equations that somehow have an x in the denominator. So let's take a look at this first warm-up. The first thing you might want to do is add 3 to both sides, and that's a good idea. So we're going to start there. So that gives us 2 over x equals 11. Now we have 2 divided by x. We need to get the x out of the denominator. So since it's 2 divided by x, the opposite of that is multiplying by x. And that's going to give us 2 equals 11x. And then the last thing we're going to do is divide both sides by 11. So our answer is 2/11. And that is a fantastic answer. However, we need to go back to the beginning and make sure that make sure our answer is not an excluded value. So remember, excluded values are when you're dividing by 0. So whatever we do, x cannot be 0 because we are not allowed to divide by 0. Fortunately, our answer is not 0, it's 2/11, so that's it. This is our answer. Now, the second one, we could start the same way. We could say, hey, I'm going to subtract 5 halves from both sides and keep going. The downside of this is now we have 7 minus 5 halves, which, we have to get common denominators. It just gets a little bit more messy, and it'll get a lot messier in our more difficult problems. So another approach that we can use is we could say, hey, let's get rid of these fractions from the beginning. So I'm just going to write this a little bit bigger so I can see it better. So we could say, right from the very start, there is a 2 in the denominator. If I multiply by 2, those will cancel. If I multiply that fraction by 2, I have to multiply all of them by 2. So that's a great start. Now notice I also have an x in the denominator, so I'd kind of like to multiply by x, so that way these cancel out. But if I multiply this one by x, I am also going to have to multiply the other 2 by x. So once we've done that, we have 5x plus 2 times 3 is 6 equals 14x. And all of a sudden, this is a really simple equation to solve because there's no fractions in it. We're just going to subtract 5x from both sides, divide both sides by 9, and reduce, and we get 2/3. Remember to go back to the original equation. We are not allowed to divide by 0. That's our excluded value. But our answer was 2/3, not 0. So this is a great answer. So this second strategy that we used in the second problem is the one that we're going to use when they get more complicated. We want to multiply by the common denominator, and that's going to get rid of all of our fractions, and it'll make the problem way easier to do. So I'm going to rewrite this so that I have more room so you can see it clear. So this is the problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of these fractions right away. I'm going to multiply by x plus 3 so that these cancel out. But I'm going to have to do it to all 3 pieces. So that's taking care of that fraction. I also have a 6 and an 18 in the denominator. So let's see, a common denominator between those would be 18. So I'm going to multiply all of my fractions by 18. And that will cancel these out. Now on this middle one, 18 and 6 are both divisible by 6. So let's go ahead and do that. And so that's actually going to be a 3. And then that's a 1. Okay, so let's rewrite what we have. In the first fraction, we have 18 times 4, which is going to be 72. Plus, we have 3 times 5, so 15, and then x plus 3. And our last one, we have 23, x plus 3. And now this is a pretty straightforward problem. We're going to distribute and continue solving this. I'm going to combine my like terms here. That's going to give me, I think, 117. Seems right. I'm going to subtract 15x from both sides. So that gives me 8x. I'm going to subtract 69 from both sides. So 117 minus 69 is 48. So we get 48 equals 8x. And then finally divide both sides by 8. So x equals 6. This is going to be my answer. Let's go back and check our excluded values right here. We are not allowed to plug in -3. Okay, that would cause us to divide by 0. That would not be good. But our answer was 6, not -3. So we're fine. All right, let's try this next one. We have 7/12 plus 9 over x minus 4 equals 55 over 48. And again, I'm just rewriting it so I have more space to show you what's happening. So we definitely need to multiply by x minus 4. So we're going to do that to everything. And those cancel out. And then to cancel out the rest of them, let's see, 12 and 48, the common denominator would be 48. So I'm going to multiply everything by 48. So these 48s are going to cancel. There's nothing to cancel on the middle one. And then 48 and 12, they're both divisible by 12. So that becomes a 4. So now on this first fraction, I have 4 times 7. So that's 28. And then x minus 4. The next one, I have 48 times 9. Let's grab a calculator for that. 432. And then I have 55 x minus 4. And these are kind of big numbers, but they're still pretty easy to work with. There's no fractions here, so we'll distribute. All right, I'm going to combine these like terms, which is going to give me 320. And I'm also going to subtract 28x from both sides. I'm going to do that all in one step. So 55x minus 28x is 27x. Okay, I'm going to add 220 over. So 540 equals 27x. Divide both sides by 27. And my answer is 20. Now remember, go back to the original. Our excluded value, x cannot be 4, which is fine. We don't want x to be 4. We want x to be 20. So this is a great answer. We'll check out more examples in the next video.